Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Roundtable Round of 16. We are here with some more of our Sunday matches. We had one this morning with Xylus prevailing over Ciccone this morning, 6-0. I will be one of your casters today, Chili Repair. I am joined by Miles, his first match of the weekend. How are we doing, Miles?
Hey, Chili, I'm doing well. So, obviously, here we've got our match of the number 1 seed versus the number 16 seed. We have Maliszewski versus Swick. And I think this can shape up to be an interesting match in some ways, but obviously there is kind of an elephant in the room with Maliszewski. He has just been such a strong player over these last 6 months, definitely a force to be reckoned with, and we're going to have to see how Swick can do in this matchup.
Some great match results this weekend so far that we just got a chance to take a look at. We're going to get on to looking at the players really quick right now. Rank number 16 globally, Maliszewski. He is known as the Poland hyper carry, the pretty much champion of tournaments right now, Circle Circuit champion, and kind of in contention lately for being one of the greatest tournament players of all time. He's just so consistent, so high skilled at pretty much everything, and I think we all kind of can see why this is the number 1 seeded player.
Yeah, he just has no weaknesses. We saw him in for almost every single map. Actually, I don't think I ever saw him on the bench for Poland this year in OWC. Just in for everything from speed to reading to tech to aim. Everything he is just the best at. And we haven't really seen a player this dominant at all since Backsay, and I think Swick is really going to have his work cut out for him in this matchup.
Was a great player in OWC this year, too, besting MREC. Swick is going to be our opponent for Maliszewski today. 16th seed out of qualifiers. Pretty solid aim and speed player. Very good with the right hand. He actually plays with his tablet underneath a mouse pad, I believe dragging as well. So kind of an interesting play style, but it very much works for him as well. The number 1 player in his state in the United States, of course, Minnesota, if you've seen the United States Cup or any similar tournament.
Yeah, playing with your tablet under a mouse pad, I believe I've seen a few other players do that. I think Spaza does that. So I believe not too uncommon, but definitely still one of the more rarer play styles. But yeah, his skill set, he is very good at mechanics, very good at aim. But I think Maliszewski might be able to take an avenue through some gimmickier picks or some hidden picks like that Nomad 5 and the entire hidden pool. But I think Swick has a shot on any of the DT maps, so definitely going to expect him to pick into those this matchup.
Yeah, a little bit more of an unknown player, but definitely a lot to leave out on the playing field here today. A contender for United States OSU World Cup, and definitely a high likelihood that we'll be participating in the 3-digit World Cup this year. So a strong competitor for Maliszewski. The question is going to be, will he be able to find a little crack in the armor? And we'll get a chance to see that on the first few picks. We are going to get into our bans to start off here. For those of you that don't know, bans will alternate with the first ban, 2 middle bans going to the following player, and the last ban coming back to whoever had the first ban. So we're going to get into the rolls here to start. It's going to be a 93 for Swick and an 88 for Maliszewski. 2 very high rolls, but it's going to be Swick getting the first choice. Any predictions for bans out of either of these players here?
Swick will ban Nomad 5, HD2, or 2 of the hiddens, and I'm pretty sure I don't see him not banning hidden in any scenario, but probably will consider to ban that Nomad 5, obviously being AR7. AR7 against Maliszewski, being a mechanics player, not really gonna be your best bet. Probably want to strike that one down, and Swick is gonna be going for first pick with his 1 roll, which means Maliszewski will be getting the first ban. Of which I would expect Maliszewski to maybe strike out one of these aim maps or speed maps, because those are the maps that Swick can be dangerous on.
Maliszewski is definitely known for his ability to play through some of these aim maps, but when you're up against Swick, I think it's important to kind of take into note what your opponent is good at. And it is going to be Squadratris leaving the map pool today. Hard Rock 1 now gone. Going to go back over to Swick. He's going to get his 2 bans in a row here. It's going to be first ban, then second ban. See how accurate you were against the skill sets here. It's going to be hidden 3, so he is going for the hidden pool. It looks like he's going to go for more of the tech flow aim style pick rather than the low approach rating pick, which is very understandable. Maliszewski still just as good of a player on that tech as possible. And then I think The hidden form makes a lot of sense as well. Very similar style of map here, really just trying to ban out what maliszewski is kind of known for on leaderboards.
And maliszewski is going to go for Hard Rock 3 with his last ban. Going to be striking out 2 Hard Rocks from maliszewski and 2 Hiddens from Swick. Meaning those pools are going to be decreased down to 2. But Swick is going to be taking that and going straight into a Hard Rock 2 first pick, Knight Rider.
Well, strong bans from maliszewski, clearly immediately banning out 2 of the Hard Rocks, and Swick going right back into Hard Rock 2, so definitely picking a good area to go for here, especially with this being a strong point for Swick. We saw a lot of good scores on this map throughout the weekend. Didn't get a chance to catch them today, but yesterday we actually did see a double FC on this map between Reedcat and Zudinator, so we have a lot to expect from this map. Definitely mechanically straightforward. A lot of just aim and jumps on these sliders here. It really is just a matter of whether or not you're able to kind of hold your own on some slider ticks or be able to keep those nerves at bay. CS 6.5, lots of room for small errors here. Hopefully both these players are ready for it. We'll see what happens here as we get into the first map of this match, maliszewski versus Swick. Best of 11 match here.
Being only the first round, these maps shouldn't be too hard for either of these players. Both of them top echelon tournament players. Not going to be struggling too much on anything in this pool, I think. But it's going to be those one-off breaks that will really come to hurt both of these players, maybe. So far, no one having issue with the intro.
Looking at some strong aim here. A little bit of an accuracy drop for Swick from the beginning here, but he's holding his own into the first half of the map here. Both players looking pretty solid here. We're going to get into our first key eye in just a second. Here we go. We're going to get into this section's going to lead us into about halfway through the map. Any break here could be dangerous. Both of these players, it's going to be Swick.
The slider break coming out from Swick, that is going to be devastating at halfway through the map. His score is now capped at around 600k, while maliszewski continues to carry on his 99.67 full combo into the latter third of the map.
Well, this is the type of pick where, again, we mentioned just any small error in your aim and you are done for on this pick here, the 6.5. Very unforgiving. maliszewski, likewise unforgiving as a player. It's going to be hard to see some breaks out of him today, I imagine. I think if maliszewski FC's less than 6 maps today, he had a bad day. Because that's just the nature of how competitive he is. But Swick trying to hold on here, trying to build up some of that combo again, hoping for any break from maliszewski. It's technically not over yet, but the note density is going to start to lower into the ending of the pick here.
Yeah, and maliszewski, look at his accuracy, 99.71%. Going into the ending of this map, this guy is just too good, and with that next break from Swick, it just is just about over. Even reaches 600k, but what can you do when maliszewski has over 1 million and has that accuracy? What?
Wow. Alrighty.
Oh my God.
5 100s from maliszewski, pulling out the full combo. It's not a perfect combo. Did drop some slider ends on those 5 100s, but a valiant effort from Swick. Only 5 slider breaks, actually. Not a single miss. 7 100s, so unfortunately would have lost in the accuracy department, but still a very respectable score. 630,000 on your opening pick against maliszewski. I think it's the nature of this matchup here. Swick is putting up scores that would be extremely competitive in most matchups, but when you're against someone like maliszewski, it makes it very difficult to get a foothold in this match. But there is plenty of time left. We still got 5 picks left on the board, assuming maliszewski would win every single pick remaining, but Swick's a strong player. I could definitely see a couple of maps going his way.
Yeah, definitely a David versus Goliath matchup, but Swick definitely does have his weapons left in this map pool. He's still got a DT pool. He's still got 1 Hard Rock as well. So definitely has potential to get back into this match. But now we're going into maliszewski's first pick, and I still see 2 hidden maps, as well as that Nomad 5, and probably Nomads 4 and 3 as well, which I just don't see maliszewski ever losing against. and this is not a Swick thing. This is an anyone thing. I don't think he would lose those maps. And he's going to be going for that Nomad 4, going for the tech map.
You called it. maliszewski bringing it in for his first pick on something he is extremely comfortable on. We saw, I think, all throughout OWC this year, maliszewski just be this absolutely permanent carry on tech maps for that team. Had some decent backing scores, but you know, I think we've seen enough of what we need to see from maliszewski to kind of know how his score is going to look on a map like this. Does leave some room for slider breaks, though. This is definitely the type of tech map where, you know, it's more similar to that Hard Rock 2 in that you're kind of looking for that slider aim control here. So anything open here, if Swick's able to put up a 600k on that Hard Rock 2, I see no reason he can't pull up something similar on this, or potentially higher. Dropping a little bit of accuracy on these beginning sliders, maliszewski clearly just a little bit more comfortable on his own pick here.
Yep, there's still tons of map to go. I think what we're really going to be hoping for, out of Swick at least, is maybe a break from maliszewski. Yes, a rare break from maliszewski. This map is only 6.72 stars, but it is still breakable for the Polish demon himself.
He's gonna hold strong so far at the beginning. Swick's gonna be the first to succumb to these sliders here. He mentioned it is just a slightly more aim control version of that Hard Rock 2. You really have to be mindful of how these sliders are overlapping and switching up into the directions, and maliszewski clearly knows exactly what's going on right now. Absolutely beasting through these cuts at the first section. Swick is gonna find another break, and maliszewski, nothing can touch him right now.
What can you do against this? He finally drops 100 on a slider end, and Swick drops again. Swick's accuracy all the way down at 96 as he continues to break, and there is just like nothing he has in this map. Halfway through, maliszewski 99.7. Wow.
That was longer than even I thought maliszewski would be able to SS that map for. That was nearly halfway through the map, had not dropped a single 100. Dropped it into like the slow refrain after the Ki. We're going to get into the second half of the map here with the final Ki before the ending section here. Not looking too good for Swick right now, as maliszewski is really just in his element right now. Here we go into the big ending section of the map. This is what we're looking for right now. Can he pull off the unbelievable? This map is extremely difficult aim requirement.
Yeah, he's still got about an eighth of the map left if he wants to lock out his second FC here, the match. Obviously expected of him on this star rating, but when you put it all in perspective, it's just so insane still how consistent this kid can be. And it looks like he's gotten through it.
He is not missing.
He's just not missing. And he's got through it. There it is. Second FC for maliszewski.
99.5!
11 100s total between these first two maps for maliszewski. That is unreal.
maliszewski dropped one singular more 100 on the slider aim control tech pick than he did on the mechanics Hard Rock 2. And for those of you that aren't quite familiar with how maps kind of go in this game and what is easy and not so easy to act, on Score V2, it takes into account when you hit the start of the slider and when you leave the end of the slider. And in order to not drop hundreds on that, you need to be almost pretty much dead in the middle for your unstable rating and how, you know, your timing of your hits. So that accuracy is unreal for a map like that. But Swick is unfazed, gonna go straight back into Hard Rock.
Going for Hard Rock 4. This is the mechanics Hard Rock up at BPM 231. Definitely, I think, a pick that Swick can win. Map is very bursty, very aimy. It's going to be a lot that I think he's very comfortable on if he wants to contest maliszewski, who looks like he's completely in his element. And when maliszewski's in his element, you can't be surprised if he comes out of this match with 6+ full combos. So you have to pick a map that you're sure you can FC against this guy. And this Hard Rock 4 just might be the formula.
He came out swinging from qualifiers, was the #1 spot by, I believe, over 200,000 average score. So clearly someone who is well prepared for this tournament in general, but Swick is not going to go down here easily. You know, this might be a first versus 16 seeded matchup, but every single one of these 16 players are, you know, I think people I would put in, you know, some of maybe the top 30 tournament players in the world right now. So we have some crazy ability, and Swick, he's pretty good at this, you know, kind of slower aim Hard Rock here. You've got a couple burst sections, of course, you know, Gorshit style break core, a little bit lighter on this map than some of the other picks that we do tend to see out of Gorshit songs, but definitely well within par for the course on this section here. Got a couple hundreds dropped out of Swick, but he's still holding the full combo. remain directly next to Maliszewski here, about 10,000 score down. Really is just the difference in accuracy.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have to improve it because Maliszewski does look extremely comfortable on this as well. His accuracy, I think this is the furthest it's dropped at all in this match, and he's only at 99.46 AC, which would be, I don't know, just pretty okay for any other player in the game, but not for Maliszewski. That is not enough. He's going to SS the rest of this map, I think, but Swick has got to improve it. Swick can totally improve his accuracy on this. Just some bursts and aim.
Waiting for the refrain section here. We're going to get into the next big part here, but halfway through, we've got a couple pauses. Players get a chance to see the other score. They know it's close. Maliszewski, only halfway through the map with that 99.47, will easily raise that to 99.7 by the end of it if he's able to hold this accuracy. Getting into a little bit more of the bursty section of the map here. This is definitely where I think Swick might find his advantage if Maliszewski is uncomfortable at all with some of these transitions here, but they're both holding strong, really unwavering from both players. They're so confident at this style of map. So much overlap in these skill sets between Swick and Maliszewski. It's so difficult to tell who's going to win any of these picks.
Yeah, Maliszewski finally dropping a little bit of AC down back to the 99.4s. Swick improving his AC, alternatively going up to around 98.9 now. But what he really needs is that break from Maliszewski, that elusive miss from this guy. But he's just not looking to show it. Looking to get his third FC in a row in this match, but Swick is still FCing as well. Could we see a double FC?
This would be a great double FC. Again, talk about how good these players are, and it looks like it's going to be it into the last spinner. It's the double FC. Swick trying to do anything he could on that last spinner, but it simply was not long enough, and the accuracy from Maliszewski remains untouched. 5 100s. Both players with the perfect combo, full combos there. Absolutely no slider ends dropped whatsoever. And some great scores there. Swick proving just exactly why he's in the competition here, why he is deserving of this matchup with that full combo. But Maliszewski, he came here to win. He started off in qualifiers, and he's going to continue it into bracket stage so far.
16 100s for Maliszewski on his first 3 maps with 3 full combos. That is unreal. And he is going to go straight for the No Mod 1. Going for the Kirigiri 6.9-ish star, just full aim map. There is nothing in this map except for full screen jumps. It is 210 BPM. I think this is something that Maliszewski is really strong at, but it is definitely a pick that Swick is really strong at as well. I think Maliszewski could have been a little bit more punishing with this pick if he wanted to go for, say, a No Mod 5 or a Hidden 2. But nevertheless, I think Maliszewski is confident on this map. But what map isn't he confident on, though?
Yeah, I think that it really is the question at this point. You know, can you find something by sheer luck maybe on, you know, not the highest star pool? Obviously, this is, you know, round of 16. I think we're looking at more accessible maps for the entire top 16 here. But as we move into future weeks, it might be easier for players to find their skill sets against Maliszewski, easier to win a few points here. So Swick kind of gets the consistency mechanics battle this week. And both of them are showing for it here. This has some absolutely massive jumps on this map. We saw Zudinator pull up an FC on this yesterday, and you know, I think that's kind of the caliber of player that we're going to match up with on Maliszewski for this type of map. Just that raw mechanical aim consistency going to show through here. Swick, very good at No Mod 1s in tournament as well. Definitely a player that you would kind of pin for, you know, FC most of the time, and then the occasional one miss as you do on a No Mod 1. Anything is possible when you have 4 minutes of 210 BPM cross-screen jumps.
Yeah, definitely. I think the star rating might be a little bit deceptive on this one because it is just unrelenting in the full screen jumps on this map. There's just so much opportunity to miss, even for the best aim players in the game. But Maliszewski is one of the best aim players in the game, so I wouldn't count him out on this at all. But nevertheless, Swick definitely has a chance on this map. As you said, pretty accessible. But we're just going to have to wait and see here. Going into the beginning of the map, the jump's already starting.
Well, easy. I don't want to say it's an easy section because the funny thing is this map actually just gets right into it at the start of the map. These jumps are relatively similar to what you're going to be seeing on the key eyes here. It really is just more constant as you go through. You know, with Swick on a map like this, it's kind of similar to Hard Rock 2. You know he's comfortable on it. You know he can full combo something like this. And that's kind of what Swick is hoping for right now, is just that little slip up from maliszewski. He knows he can perform on this type of map. It really is just the difference of how does your opponent fare on something. But it's going to be an early 100 drop from maliszewski. It's going to give Swick that avenue into this No Mod 1. We have yet to see a double S on this map this weekend, and maybe Swick aiming to be the first one?
Maybe we've still got 2/3 of the map to go. But still, this is the first time in this match that Swick has the accuracy lead, which, if he can hold on to this combo, is going to be really important for him. But we are about to go into the first ki of this map, which is where the jumps get extremely spaced, and Swick drops to 50, but still holds on to the combo through those first big jumps.
Yeah, barely missed that. Slider was a little bit slower than he was anticipating. Almost went over the end of it, but carried himself.
Slider.
And it's gonna be an over-aim, too, right after the slider. You saw the X on the bottom left-hand corner there. And maliszewski is now going to take the lead quite rapidly as Swick is just unable to hold through the middle of this ki here halfway through the map. He is going to stay above 99% accuracy on his couple of misses here, but it's going to be another one coming out. We're going to get back into the refrain, and I don't know what's left in this map for Swick unless maliszewski finds a miss somewhere in this next section here.
Yeah, but Swick dropped right at the middle. That's going to be capping his score a lot. There's not much he can do here. He just needs maliszewski to drop. He needs a prayer to be answered.
I think the issue with that halfway miss as well is he can't just have one miss from maliszewski. It either has to be one section of misses or it has to be two individual events, because maliszewski already has that score lead pushing up 500k right now. Just the 1/100 from the beginning, I believe, sitting at 99.9. Swick was able to get back up to that 99% act, but still sitting below 400k. Quarter of the way left in the map right now. maliszewski's aim just so clean, so collected on this No Mod 1 aim here. Really just shows how comfortable this star rating is for him. Swick trying to do whatever he can on this No Mod 1. Kind of a lower score than I think we expected from Swick. Just had a lot of trouble with that ki halfway through the map.
Yeah, and I think he might have gotten rattled after that first break. He was holding an SS up until then, but now he's dropped all the way down to a low 99. Meanwhile, maliszewski has not dropped a 100 since his first 100. He is sitting at, I believe, 17 100s now for this match, and 0 combo drops. When have we ever seen a player this consistent, Chillier? This is just absolutely absurd.
Oh, it's unreal. You know, remember we mentioned at the beginning of this match, if maliszewski doesn't FC 6 of these picks, he's having a bad day.
Oh my God,
weren't kidding. We weren't kidding. It's going to be number 4 on the board for maliszewski with what I believe is a 1x100 play.
Yeah, and he is going to do it. His 4th FC of the match out of 4 maps. 1/100 for maliszewski. That is his 17th 100 of this match. And he has yet to drop his combo. Oh my God.
You know, I think the terrifying thing about maliszewski is not that he FCs almost every map in a tournament match that he plays. It's that he FCs almost every map in every tournament match he plays in every single tournament. It is like you see some players that have these like quick and like amazing pop-offs in 1v1 tournaments or team tournaments, and they just absolutely send their team off to the path of victory. And then there's maliszewski, where you just, there's no way that we've seen another player with this level of consistency in the past. You know, we talk about some of the best tournament players of all time, and they would have, you know, their rough days. maliszewski just doesn't all the time.
Yeah, he's just up there already in the tier with like Bubbleman and Vaxay, and if he's dominant for one more year, then he's definitely going to be, I think, the tournament GOAT. But here comes Swick with his next pick, going to be going for DT1. We were talking about this before the match, actually. We believed that if Swick were to win a point against maliszewski, we thought this would be the best map to do it on. The DT aim is something that we know Swick to be incredibly strong at, and I think if he were to out-act maliszewski on anything, it might be a map like this. but he really needs to hold his combo because Maliszewski, as he's just shown, is not going to break in this match, unfortunately.
Well, we're looking for something from Swick right now. He's got plenty of opportunities to get a point on the board within these next 2 picks here, but it's going to have to start with this DT1 because you know Maliszewski saved no mod 3, no mod 5 on all those maps for the ending of this match. Also has hidden 2 left on the board, so there's plenty to go for. Swick is a very proficient 10.3 DT aim player. This is a skill set that he is normally very consistent at. It's hard to get Swick under an almost perfect score on maps like this. Maliszewski does tend to stay away from the DT aim a little bit more often than other skill sets, so it's not that he's bad at it, but he definitely avoids this more often, so we're looking for maybe Swick being a little bit more comfortable throughout the entire map here than Maliszewski. It's going to be lower rack at the start, though.
Yeah, Swick dropping some ag going into this chorus. Maliszewski gonna be finding a combo break! The break has come, Maliszewski has broken, and Swick now has a monstrous combo lead on this map. He just needs to hold on for probably about another minute to have an unassailable lead on this pick, I think.
Swick found it. He found the break in the armor. Maliszewski, he can be defeated. Swick is going to have to hold for a little bit longer, but we're approaching halfway through the map now, and it's going to be a little over a 50,000 score lead in favor of Swick. Again, he doesn't have to hold the entire FC. He just needs to hold for long enough to push Maliszewski back. That break was an inopportune timing for Maliszewski. It's not quite as bad as that halfway miss, but it's definitely enough that against Swick on a DT1, you're going to have a hard time coming back from that. This is exactly what we needed.
Swick improving his act a little bit during this bridge section, but so does Maliszewski. But we are about to get into the second chorus. This is where the jumps start to pick up again. If Swick were to find a break here, it would give Maliszewski an opportunity to get back into this map. But it looks like so far he is going to continue to hold on. He just needs to combo just like 3 more seconds to get through it. And he misses the last note of the burst at the end of the chorus. Maliszewski now has a chance to get back in this pick if he can hold on, because he has the accuracy lead as well. And another break from Swick.
Oh no. Oh,
Danger.
He's tapping too early. He's
Danger.
tapping too early. He's nervous. No, Swick, calm down. He needs to hold it. You need to hold this down. It's 100,000 and it's disappearing fast. It's a quarter of the way left in the map. Swick has no combo to speak of. Maliszewski now has the accuracy lead as well. 700 combo and climbing into the end of the map. We need to see a second break from Maliszewski in order for Swick to stay in this. He just barely misaimed the last note of a burst and into the ending of that section. We have a pause. Both players can see exactly what's happening right now. Swick needs the break from Maliszewski. Will we see it? Can he miss a second time? Was the one miss a fluke, or is he going to lose a point in this match? Maliszewski does not have a lot of time left, but the score is going back so quickly.
Swick dropping more accuracy as well is not going to help the cause, and it is about to swap over in favor of Maliszewski, and it does. And as he gets through that jump, I think it might just be over. There's not enough time for Swick, even if Maliszewski were to break again.
We could see it. It's still so close. Swick has combo. There's time. But we're not seeing anything from Maliszewski into the ending. He almost misaimed that double there. He almost left too early, but he holds still. There's no break after the first one for Maliszewski. Swick is just barely going to let the DT1 slip away at the ending, missing just a little too early, and it's an FC on the second half after the miss from Maliszewski. Swick on a 720k, just not quite enough.
That is so tragic for Swick. He was so close on this map. For about 3/4 of the way through, he was in the lead. But Maliszewski just showing how strong and consistent he is once again. Going to be reestablishing his combo after the early break and taking the pick. With all of the remaining circles left in the map, he can combo them. And the pick is going to go back to him. Going to be going for the Nomad 2 to try and finish off this match. 115 map by Fiery Rage. This map is just streams, and I think this is also a map that Swick could be really comfortable on, could put up a really good fight on this for sure.
And that was a crushing blow on that miss from Swick. He just got a little too nervous on that linear burst. and misaimed the last note of it into that break there. Maliszewski, you know, this is a bit of an uncharacteristic pick to close the match out here. I definitely would have imagined something more along the lines of that hidden 2 being up for just how comfortable he's been on those picks today. But, you know, maybe making the ending of this match interesting. Maliszewski, he might be super comfortable on this, but definitely something that I could see Swick performing well on too, actually. We've seen a lot of good stream players actually lose this map to players who you wouldn't normally think of. And there it is! Maliszewski, he's doing the same thing as we saw yesterday. Reedcat picked this into Zudinator, the stream player, and the velocity of these streams just catches players off guard if you're not ready. That is a huge act drop at the start.
Maliszewski dropping all the way down to a B rank. He misaimed the start of that stream, dropped a ton of hundreds and a ton of misses. Going to be giving Swick a massive lead to start this off. I think he just needs to go on autopilot now. As long as he doesn't break, he has this pick in the bag. But first, he has to FC this map, which is going to be difficult.
It is. This is a chain miss map. You can misaim one of these sections of streams and drop quite a bit, but the good news is there's only a couple of them. For a Nomad 2, this map is pretty aim-oriented, so you've only got a couple of those, you know, kind of shorter, medium-length bursts, and then most of it's this jump stuff here, so Swick is really going to have a chance to burn some of the clock down here for the map timer. We're pushing halfway through with a pretty sizable accuracy lead on him. This might just be the opportunity, but we're going to come into some of these streams here. We're really looking for that consistency throughout these, and Maliszewski drops again, and that's going to be it.
Maliszewski finding a second drop on this map. Definitely not the map you'd expect him to be struggling so much on, but Swick is just holding so strong with above 99% and still holding on to his FC, going to get through those space streams as well. And it looks like he might have already attained himself an unassailable lead up above 500k. We're about to go into another bridge, and it looks like Swick is just going to get on the board here.
This is it. This is the one. There's pretty much just jumps in one more stream towards the ending here. Quarter of the way left in the map or less. 650,000 score. Almost double what Maliszewski's putting up. And Maliszewski with the just not quite being able to find the velocity of some of these streams here. Going to let his own point lose to Swick here. Just at the end of the match on match point. Gonna drag this on a little bit longer. 99.3 from Swick, a stellar performance coming into the final stream of the map here. Pretty much anything can happen. Will he be able to close it out? We're going to come into the remainder, and that's going to be it. Swick with the full combo to take down Maliszewski on his own pick. It is now 5-1. Swick goes back to his own pick, trying to get back into this match. We're going to stay at match point for at least one pick longer.
Yes, Swick is going to survive here. FCing this Nomad 2 with 99.24. This is the performance he needed to stay in this match. He even beat Maliszewski's accuracy as well throughout this map, which means he is going to get a point, going to be avoiding the sweep and going back to his pick. I think he is definitely going to look once again into the DT pool for his next pick. Going to be going for DT3 Dice, the speed map.
I like this pick. I like this pick from Swick. He found the opportunity into this match in DT1 with that first break from Maliszewski. He's going to try and find another one here on Dice. This map is very, you know, burst heavy. It's very stamina heavy if you're not consistent at these constant triples in this map. The aim in this map is a slight requirement, but it's a little bit more dense than some of the big aim maps we've seen thus far, so a little less often to expect the kind of the miss towards the middle or ending. So we're really looking for another opportunity here for Swick to get a point on the board on his own picks. He's clearly confident in what he is going for here. None of these losses have deterred him away from what he's going for, and we'll see what happens. Generally a pretty fast player. We'll hope the nerves don't get to him. The thing that caught Swick on Nomad 1 was that linear burst. This map's got a lot of those stacked triples. Very similarly, you'll see some of these kind of 5 and 6 note bursts here.
Yeah, this map has been pooled in tournaments a lot. Very consistent speed map because there are not many diff spikes in this map. What you're seeing right now is what it's going to look like for most of the way through outside of the choruses where the bursts become a little more intense. But definitely a map that anyone who's consistent on speed will be able to play well on, which is why both of their accuracies are sitting pretty evenly at 98 and 97. No combo drops just yet as we get into the first chorus, but I think that's expected.
Yeah, not expecting too much here at the beginning. It really is going to get into that triple section towards the middle where the stamina is going to go down, and then it's easy to tense up your arm a little bit and maybe start to miss aim or even shake off of it if you aren't used to handling the combo. But both of these players, definitely some serious tournament experience. I'm not expecting too many huge nerves out of both of them. We're seeing a little bit of uncertainty from Swick on the tapping right now, just from some of these 100 drops here. Maliszewski not holding stellar accuracy as well. Clearly, neither of these players are what you would call top caliber speed, but they're definitely good enough to maintain the combos on the consistency here. We're going to pass halfway, and it's now going to be Swick with the accuracy lead. Maliszewski's going to drop a hefty amount of hundreds there. Swick is right behind, though. Neither of these players can feel comfortable in their combos or act right now. Here we go into the big Ki.
Maliszewski dropped a lot of act early on into that last Ki, dropping down below 96, and Maliszewski breaks again. Swick, at this point in the map, he only needs to hold for a little bit longer, and he will have a victory under his belt.
There's a pause after this section.
Oh, he's shaking.
He dropped the 50. He hit the pause. He hit the pause.
Swick was shaking so hard right before that break, but he still has the combo. There's really not enough time for Maliszewski. If Swick just holds for a little bit longer, he'll have a second point on the board.
He just needs to not completely break down at the ending. He found the miss, but that should be okay. As long as he's able to hold the combo for the remainder of the match, Swick is going to be able to stay in this. He's got the one miss behind him, but Maliszewski doesn't quite have enough combo to bring this back fast enough. He just has to hold the combo right now. And he's going to make it into the ending jumps. I think that's it.
Yeah, the accuracy really big for Swick here. He still has the accuracy lead, which means Maliszewski, even with the combo lead, is not going to be able to capitalize. And it looks like Swick is going to continue to avoid dropping into loser's bracket again, going to be taking a second point against Maliszewski. How impressive is that?
That's what we love to see. The one miss from Swick, just barely holding through the shakes long enough into that first pause towards the latter half of the map. And it's going to be 2 points on the board for Swick. He now has a consolidated break point, but Maliszewski, he's bringing out the big guns. It's hidden too. It's the pick that we thought Maliszewski would go for to close this match out. He is going to bring it home now if he can. Swick is a proficient aim player, and this is a very aim-oriented AR8 hidden map, but it is very unforgiving if you're not completely comfortable with some of these wide angles.
Yeah, Hidden 2 is a pick that we all know Maliszewski to be extremely dangerous on. One of the best AR8 hidden players in the game. One of the most consistent hidden players in the game. I think this is an uphill battle for Swick, if you could even call it that. I think this is really Maliszewski's weapon here to try and finish off this match.
Swick's got to put the reading glasses on right now. This is going to be a very tough pick for him to potentially get some foothold in. Even Maliszewski, not known for missing on hidden too often. So we're looking for some serious RNG gathering here for Swick. But right now,
he's got to summon from some black magic if he wants to win this pick, I think. You need to call upon otherworldly forces here.
Swick needs to channel some of the best reading players to ever exist in this game in order to win this pick. And Maliszewski is going to mistap a note at the beginning of the map, giving Swick a slight advantage. Okay then,
Dark magic. Dark magic. He's praying to Cookie Z right now. Give me the AR8 hidden reading to beat Maliszewski, Cookie Z. And Cookie Z will deliver.
Single thing. Yeah, every American tournament player now has their hand on Swick's shoulders going up against Maliszewski. It's like the Pantheon has arrived. Swick does find a break, but it really is just trading out that early miss from Maliszewski. He's going to lose down on the score a little bit now because of the accuracy, but it's going to be one more miss there. I think we were a little wishful thinking at the beginning of the map, but we are going to have to see some more breaks from Maliszewski. That one at the beginning there was extremely bizarre.
Yeah, but Maliszewski has been comfortable on that ever since. Accuracy back up to 99 with Swick's accuracy down at 96. That is really going to be, I think, the deciding factor, even if Swick were to hold on and Maliszewski were to break again. That accuracy deficit for Swick is really going to hurt him in any comeback on this pick. So he has got to bring it back up if he wants to have a chance here. But we also have to pray for Maliszewski to break if you're a Swick fan. And on this AR8 hidden, I don't know if he's going to break again.
Yeah, that first miss was really just on some like awkward stack. I think he either just mistapped or wasn't paying attention and just missed the overlap, and I think that's something that we can expect to maybe not see too often here. We are going to get back into some of these wide angles, though, and it's unfortunately going to be Swick to find 2 misses on it halfway through. And, you know, it's looking like it might just be it, just on the sheer number of misses from Swick here. 99.33% from Maliszewski. And there has been absolutely no issue on this map straight from that first miss.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's really not much that Swick can do at this point other than pray for breaks, but I don't think it's going to happen. But nevertheless, he did get 2 points on Maliszewski in this match, even though I don't want to call it just yet, since there's still a third of the map left. But
there is, but yeah.
Can't really do much with this kind of score and act deficit.
As the late Will Stetson would say, Maliszewski would have to have a complete meltdown at the end of this map.
Yeah, barring a disconnect, if we want to go back even further.
Right, yeah, that would be tragic for Maliszewski, but I don't anticipate anything too major to happen here. Regardless, Swick is putting up a pretty decent combo into the ending of the map here. I believe the largest combo he had for the map there. Just going to find a miss on the 1/3 section there. That's a very difficult section here. As, you know, even Maliszewski dropping a couple of hundreds through that.
Yeah, but he still holds on to his combo, and it looks like he is going to finish out his opponent, Swick, here in the round of 16. Going to be taking the match 6-2 on, I'm pretty sure, is something that most people didn't really expect. Pretty sure a lot of people wrote off Swick to get 6-0'd like some other players have in this tournament so far, but Swick taking 2 points against the best tournament player in the game right now is very respectable, and I think he can hold his head high even after this defeat.
That's going to be it. Last jumps from Maliszewski here, and a full combo immediately after that first miss from him. Absolutely no issue. You see the little bump in the progress graph there at the start. Swick just not quite able to match up on the AR8 hidden to Maliszewski, and that is going to be it. 6-2 in favor of Maliszewski on the win in the round of 16. Swick will be dropping to our losers bracket. Maliszewski going to be advancing to the next stage of the upper bracket here on the back of a fantastic performance early on in this match. Swick able to claw back those 2 points in some stellar performances in the second half of the match, but it was just far too little too late. That is it for that match. Your winner, Maliszewski. Big congratulations for the Polish star in this match here. But there's still plenty of matches to go for this weekend. This was one that we've been looking forward to here, and there is definitely plenty left as well. Before we go here, we will give you a quick glimpse at what that bracket looks like. We've got the remainder of our matches from the previous. We've got Maliszewski up at the top, facing off against Xylus, who was able to defeat Ciccone earlier 6-0. Very good matchup to look out for there. Some exciting stuff. And from the previous weekend, we've got more coming at you as well. We have, I believe, three more matches today. We have the next one coming at you at 20 UTC.
I believe that one is Lolo234 versus Mustache at that time. And it looks like the losers bracket is going to be flashed on screen as well. We've got Swick going up against Ciccone, who obviously lost to Xylus earlier. And we have Recat against Demonical as well. And every other match in the losers bracket has yet to be determined. It will be determined by whoever loses the remaining winners bracket matches. Got someone waiting to play Intercambing as well.
Lower bracket exciting as usual. But we've got plenty more for you, of course, again. So not quite next weekend yet, but just to give a quick recap, we've got Lolo234 versus Mustache at 20 UTC. We have 21 UTC, which will be Amamiya Kokoro versus Bartek, 22-830. And at 22 UTC, we will have Takedo versus Ninarik. So 2 hours from now, 3 hours from now, and 4 hours from now, there will be 3 more matches this weekend.
Should be some interesting matches for sure. Definitely looking forward to those. Well then, in the meantime, while we wait for those, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this matchup. Very intense. Swick versus maliszewski. But we have to wait 2 more hours for the next match, unfortunately. So hope you all stay tuned and enjoy the rest of your day or night wherever you may be.